Okay, thank you so much for coming again to our 25th Community SIPCO. I know Shannon has hosted many before that, even pre the official sort of SIPCO days. But yeah, really appreciate everybody for coming again. 25th Community Call. Today is the 9th of December, and today we'll be going through the SIP updates, and then we'll go into the main topic of Julia's SIP or Stacks Code of Conduct, which she's been working on for the past 1 or 2 years. Yeah, so it'll be exciting to revive this proposal or idea, and then we can see where we can take from there. Cool. So just to give some of you a bit of background to this SIPCO, this SIPCO is all about collaboration and advocacy for your idea. Here we can give each other feedback. We can teach people what your SIP is about, because often it gets hidden in GitHub. So I think one of my role is to sort of try and facilitate to bring that SIP out to the public, to the Stacks community. So yeah, people can come here, we can offer you feedback, we can offer conversations, discussion around it, and yeah, just help each other to continue to improve Stacks. So a SIP is just a formal document, and that just specifies the standard of your idea, basically. And a big SIP is like Stacks 2.1, but there are many other SIPs, such as the SIP proposal itself. The SIP 000, which is a Stacks improvement proposal process itself, and many other things, such as how the blockchain works, the Clarity contract itself, NFT standard, non-NFT standard. So all these are part of SIPs, but even things like a lot of governance conversation can be part of SIP too, like today's. So it doesn't have to be technical. Yeah. So just to give everybody a quick update. So we have actually moved a lot of the SIPs to activation in progress now. So a lot of now we have a lot of ideas in the pipeline, and they're all in conversation, whether in their own working groups or such a Werner's idea, which we talked about last week, and Muthu's idea about node improvement. I talked to him, he said he's busy until New Year, but we're going to pick that up next year, which will be the first operational SIP. Or it can be outside SIP, but we will figure that out next year. Yeah, so SIP 13 is ratified, and I'll go into a little bit more about that. But yeah, so it's looking good that we've moved a lot of things to activation in progress, and just waiting for the vote to finalize, tabulated, and we will offer a community update next week on the results. Yeah, so just want to say that congratulations to everybody who worked on SIP 13. It's officially ratified and merged into the main branch. So yeah, this is officialized SIP 13. I really appreciate all the contributors in the process. Couldn't do this without you. Yeah, so this is literally like the way to all come together and contribute and develop an idea from the beginning to finish. So I hope that the different member of community can continue to contribute towards other SIP ideas that's coming up in the pipeline, such as Werner's idea. So yeah, I'll try to get Mark to talk about this BTT transfer or transaction thing I saw on GitHub over the next few weeks, or next week or next year. Yeah, so that's one. And this is just to sort of to prompt people that this is not a SIP, but it's a place where you can also contribute towards a conversation as well. So Larry's idea of just using the BNS to send Bitcoin transaction. So if you have any comment, please go to the Stacks forum and like put your comments, put your feedback, put your idea down there, so we can shape this standard really well for the Stacks ecosystem. So yeah, so just want to open up the floor to see whether you guys have any comments, any, yeah, so just anything about anything you want to talk about before we go into the main topic. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's move on to the main topic from Juliet. So I'll stop sharing screen. Juliet, are you okay to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm good to share my screen. Let me just get that going.
Oh. We'd love to hear a little bit your background and just to let people know who you are. And yeah, and then share.
Sure.
That'll be amazing.
Of course, thank you. So I've been part of the Stacks community since 2019. I started out with app mining, then became what was known as an evangelist then, and is an advocate now. Then after that, I also was working with the governance working group. And what I'm talking about today is a project that I did that's the Stacks Code of Conduct. And that was done, I received a grant for that. I did that and created an RFC, a request for comment on GitHub. And let's see, so can you see my screen?
No.
No, not yet, okay.
You have to click the green button that says screen and then select the window.
Yeah, I did that, sorry. There we go. You see the screen?
Yeah, good to go.
Wonderful, thank you. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, and all the hard work that everyone has done on the various SIPs. And just wanting to share this particular project. So jumping into the SIP. So I think that one of the big questions I also had after the doing the SIP project was, or doing the Stacks Code of Conduct project was, is a SIP really appropriate for a code of conduct? Because most of the SIPs that you see are technical in nature. But one of the key things that I realized after going through SIP 000 is that it's all part of the governance workflow. So creating a SIP is a part of governance, and the code of conduct is a basics document for governance in OSS communities, as well as for DAOs, that it can be the foundational governance document. So, so I think the benefits of a code of conduct are to contribute to a positive and collaborative environment. Looking at the code of conduct itself, it talks about various aspects of how it can improve the community. And then it also provides guidance in the case of conflict. And this can come up not frequently, but we're using, based on the code of conduct that I created, it's the conflict is generally mediated by moderators. And if you take a look in the Stacks Discord, you can see a link to the code of conduct there. And that is for the moderators to take a look at and use when they're banning or talking to people about their behavior. So this is the key issue, is there's no ratified code of conduct. There are multiple code of conducts in the Stacks community and the Stacks ecosystem. The Stacks Advocates has a code of conduct. That's located on the Stacks Advocates GitHub. There's also a hero code of conduct, but there's no ratified code of conduct. And since it's a community document and should reflect the community, there should be a vote or a ratification in some manner for a code of conduct. And then, as I mentioned before, I received a grant from the Stacks Foundation for this code of conduct. And there is an RFC that's on GitHub, and I'll give you the link in a moment. And then we've had a few community discussions on both GitHub and on the forum, as well as discussions within the governance working group. So why now? As I mentioned at the beginning, we want to take the code of conduct to become a SIP, and take it through the SIP process. And we have an amazing active SIP process ongoing now with lots of community involvement. And obviously, as mentioned previously, the code of conduct should be ratified by the community, assuming the community accepts it and finds it to reflect community values. Here are the 2 links to take a look at for commenting, for getting involved. One on GitHub and on the forum. So there's different sections in the code of conduct, and the first section is about what the purpose is, and that's to provide a safe and welcoming environment. It outlines the expectations for all who participate and the consequences for unacceptable behavior. And as I mentioned before, the code of conduct is a community document that outlines community values. When I first created this, one of the key values that we cared about, or some people in the community cared about, was a can't be evil idea, an ethos of can't be evil. Obviously, it contributes to new community members by encouraging positive interaction between people. And then getting to that can't be evil ethos, representing the idea of user-owned internet, self-sovereign identity, belief in privacy, belief in a decentralized organization. And then there's a pledge within the code of conduct that says what we're working towards, what we believe in, and what we as individuals, as people in the community, agree to as far as our relationships with one another. And then examples of behavior include kindness, respect, empathy. I think these are all standard in code of conducts, that we can work together, we can listen to each other, and that we're not going to do things like trolling and harassing other folks, that we're not going to make violent communication in the whether we're in the Stacks Discord or in other community sites. And so I think this is one of the big issues with the comments that have taken a look at the code of conduct, and that's the scope issues. Who does it apply to? Where does it apply? When does it apply? All of those considerations. So I wrote out some of these ideas that I have. It's very vague, I think, in the scope area of the code of conduct. So here's some thoughts that I had, which is the basic social channels is where it applies. And then also in the GitHub and forum, and then at events. So typically at any, whether you're talking about the Python community, there's always a code of conduct for in real life events as well as virtual events. And that's something that the Python community takes very seriously. And then there's another area which applies to community leaders. So the question becomes, what is a community leader and who is a community leader? And it should apply to them when they are speaking as representative of the community. And then it can also, this I thought was a key topic, it can also be adopted by projects within the community. And so I foresee my thought when I created it was that this would apply to the Discord and various areas like Reddit or Telegram, where people are interacting and discussing topics, whether it's development or what have you, so that there's a positive environment. But I also see that it can be adopted by other projects throughout the ecosystem. I think that's something that may help to create a stronger code of conduct. I don't think it's required, but if everyone has a similar code of conduct, or it's based on something like this, I think that goes to strengthening the community's understanding of what what defines interaction, or positive interaction, or negative interaction in the community. And then within the code of conduct, it talks about enforcement, and it talks about several layers of enforcement. And currently, as I mentioned, enforcement is by moderators on Discord only. As far as I know, there's no other enforcement of this code of conduct or any other, but what I see is moderators who may tell people generally in public to knock it off, we don't accept that kind of language, or that type of, those kind of attacks or what have you on others in this community. And I think that what was noted on one of the comments on the code of conduct on GitHub was being intolerant of intolerance. And I think that that is kind of a really simple, clear guideline of what we don't allow from community members. And so as you can see here, there's different levels of enforcement. Generally, things are done in public right now because it's moderators, it's only on the Stacks Discord. There have been situations where there's been code of conduct violations, and people have privately with community leaders discussed the issues, but there is no standard of enforcement as far as I can see today. And if you have some questions or comments on that, I'd love to hear about it, either on Discord or today while we're discussing it. So again, as it says at the bottom of the slide, there's further work needed to create an appropriate enforcement and protocols. And that's the end of the slide deck, but we can go to take a look at the GitHub. And let me just stop sharing right now. Anyway, is there any questions? I just wanted to say thank you for having me. I know this was fairly quick as far as a presentation, but I'm eager to hear what questions there are, and any ideas and thoughts about next steps, about working on a SIP. Anybody who's interested in working together on this, I'm all ears for insight.
I think this is a great SIP to have for the with all the SIPs we have. I think this also belongs there. And thanks for all the research you've done into this. It looks really good to me. And I think it's important to maybe not get too much detail, right? Not trying to have a strict flow for every kind of problem you could have, right? I think you want to be able to just have a talk with people and work it out. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about it, at least. To me,
go ahead. Sorry.
So to me, the lines that are set out as they are, so the big lines, I think they're easy to say yes to, right? For a community, I would say yes. I would like to ratify this at least. If we go into more detail, then it might become harder. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think those are great. That's great feedback. I think when I talked about enforcement, it wasn't an idea of trying to identify every single instance of where something would violate the code of conduct, but more so there's some clarity for people who are looking at this and they understand what should we do as moderators, or how should we handle things in the community, or is there a necessity for some community mediators or other folks. And it seems to me there's not a lot of problems in the community as far as code of conduct violations. The most we see are people that come on Discord and try to promote some project or say that they can tell you how to get free Bitcoins or something like that. And so those are banned depending on the situation. But I think that we actually have a really good community. I don't see a lot of problems, but it's good to have something that gives a basic outline, as you said, Werner.
Yep, agree.
Hey, Juliet. Shannon here. Thanks for all that information. That's great. Would love to, I think I've seen the one on Discord, the link there, but if you wouldn't mind posting the links in the chat, that would be wonderful. Sure. We do have a code of conduct that we use for all virtual and IRL events, and would love to kind of go into a little bit more of what you provided, and then also see the specifics around Python, as you mentioned, and seeing how we can incorporate there. So yeah, if you want to DM me on Discord or send the link here, that would be great.
I'll drop the link in the chat.
Thanks.
Any other questions? I really appreciate the responses that have been on the GitHub, as well as all of the communications I've had with people. Thank you, Hiro, so much for putting this on the schedule for talks. I really appreciate that, and it's pretty straightforward. I think it doesn't need to spend. We don't need to spend a lot of time of taking people's time to talk about it. But I'm happy, as I said, to answer questions now. You can reach out to me on Discord. It's juliet.btc that you can find me at on the Stacks Discord. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm happy to respond and meet with or talk to anyone about the code of conduct.
I've got small thoughts. So a lot of some of the code of conduct is, I mean, it's since we don't have a lot of in real life problem, at least the things that I've seen across the ecosystem, it's almost like I feel like we could also add more. I don't know if it's worth, but adding more like positive reinforcement. So some of the things are about reinforcing if something goes bad, but could we add things to highlight the things are going well, and maybe and that will be sort of happening more on a more regular basis. I don't know if it's part of the code of conduct or it should be something else, but I think I'm just trying to think of things that it's not just going to get documented and not going to get used. And if some of the things could be more practical and used more on a regular basis, that's part of the code of conduct, highlighting good behaviors. Therefore, over time, we should see less bad behaviors.
And I think that's part of, in one of the sections of the code of conduct, it talks about, when you see people doing good stuff, to let others know, whether that's someone, a community leader, or if you're working on a specific project. It's the ideas, and it specifically says in the open citizenship section of the beta document, if you see someone who is making an extra effort to ensure our community is welcoming, friendly, and encourages all participants to contribute to the fullest extent, we want to know. And I think that I think that's a general idea in the community, is we want to know if someone is doing great stuff and really stepping up and really helping out. And so that's part of the code of conduct, to look at the positive behavior and the great things that people are doing and how people are helping to grow the ecosystem. So it's not just, oh, enforcement, let's stop people doing bad things, but encouraging good behavior. And when I sat and reread it last night several times, I realized there's some really important pieces there, and it's good to read the code of conduct just to remind yourself of your own behavior that you may have with others, and what the real glue that connects us as a community is, and how important those things are to reflect on and to improve your own personal behavior. So for myself, when I look at this, I realize that some behaviors that I may have had in the past that, aren't very friendly, because I thought that there was a certain issue that I really cared about. And it makes you reflect on this, and just reading it through every once in a while really makes you reflect on a positive, creating a positive environment for everyone in the community. Are there any other questions, any thoughts or comments?
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, let's see what we can do, pick this up. Any other help that you need, whoever you need to you think worth chiming in, maybe from the ethics caps, which is and James, and the diversity cap. Maybe we can get them to put their thoughts down on paper, yeah, before we take to the next level. And
yeah, that would be great too. I can ping the ethics club, talk to them about it, see if everyone's interested in getting on board. Yeah, that would be great to have that, particularly moving towards, I've drafted out a very early stage on the SIP itself, and then moving towards creating that. I had some concerns initially when I started to draft it about what category it fits in. I think that's more clear now, but if I can reach out to anyone to talk about the drafting of it, or to share what I've worked on, so someone can look at it or weigh in on it, that would be great too. And then I'm open for anyone who wants to contribute or to help. I think that this is really a document that belongs to everyone. If indeed it's accepted as the code of conduct of this community.
I would just say maybe my last comment would be maybe would be a great way to help the new people, because people might not like discovery. How did people discover this document? Otherwise, it's gonna sit on GitHub. Like, we need a way to, if it becomes official, like new people, existing people need a way to find this? Like,
Yeah.
do we put into some sort of handbook, or like when they arrive or something, or a summary? I don't know. I'm just throwing that sort of comment out there.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. I know that it is on the moderators channel on the Discord, and that's the only official location where it resides, but it should have another place other than on GitHub, and it definitely needs to be moved out of the StacksGov issues and moved on. So.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. Really appreciate you coming talk about this. We'll share that on YouTube, and we'll share that on Twitter too, and on Stacks forum. I'll just help you amplify in different places when it's ready. Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much, Juliet. I'll share my screen and
I think your mic is muted, Hero.
oh, so. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was unmuted. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'll start again. Okay, just last call for people to vote on Stack Super One upgrade. We only have 1 day left. Please go and take a vote in if you haven't already. Yeah, so we might have still a little bit more time on STX or Eco website, but I'll highly encourage everybody to go vote now. Yeah, so. Yeah, so very simple step to vote. Just log in with your wallet, yes or no, send a transaction, claim the badge, and you must be stacking over cycle 46 and 47 for the SIP15 XYZ website. And the second website, STX.eco, is based on snapshot voting. That's for people who are not stacking, just have liquid stacks. Click the page, connect the wallet, send transaction, claim the badge. Is that simple. So yeah, please go and vote. And I just like to remind everybody that you can actually vote with experts too. Kaylee is on the call. Do you wanna say something about this, Kaylee? You have to raise your hand if you wanna.
Hi guys. Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm the community manager for Xverse, and we just released our beta desktop browser extension. So you can now use Xverse on Chrome, Brave, and Firefox. So this is awesome. We're really happy to show this to our community, to have more options within Stacks for people to, unleash the full potential of Stacks through NFTs, DeFi, and other dApps on the Bitcoin blockchain. So we're really happy for this. And yeah, I cannot wait to demo this to you guys momentarily.
Do you want me to, do you want to share screen?
Yes, I can share screen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just really glad that now we have all the wallets supporting mobile web extension. You can vote through whatever ways and means you have. Is so many options. Yeah. So Kaylee.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys like how to get the desktop and like how to interact with other things. So for sure. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to have to go to xverse.app, like I am here. You are going to need to go to download. So you're going to click download up here in the top right-hand corner. Then whenever it says mobile app, you can select the mobile app if you like, or the browser extension. And for our video, our showcase today, we're gonna click download for Chrome. So what you're gonna do is gonna take you straight to the web app, and you're gonna click add the Chrome, continue to install. And this proceed to caution is more like, it's just a disclaimer. There is nothing that needs to be, there's no safety concerns with our application. So you're gonna click continue to install. You're gonna add the extension. Awesome. You can opt to sync if you'd like. And then you're just gonna pin it to your address bar up here. Then you're going to click the app and you're going to create a wallet. And you're going to go through the steps. So it's going to give you some information. You can have more information on stacking, because obviously you can stack with experts, which is really nice. So you can stack at least 100 stacks and earn Bitcoin. So you can continue. You can also view the terms of service and your privacy policy here. You're going to click accept. You're just going to ask you to back up your wallet. I'm going to back up my wallet here. You're going to write down your seed phrase. So that's going to take a few seconds here. Once you have that, of course, this is either a 12 or 20 word phrase. So these are your secret keys. So you want to make sure like no one else has this. And of course, this is going to be a Debian wallet. So no worries for the sake of today's tutorial. But again, just want to emphasize that you should not share your seed phrase with anyone, and that you should be very careful with where you store these. Writing them down and keeping them in a safe location is the ideal place. And after this, I will show you how to recover your wallet. So in case that you need to remove it from the App Store and then re-download it, you will be able to. So let's go on through the process. And again, if you are traveling or if you are at home, you have the option to use both a mobile app and to use the desktop. So that is an awesome feature that we have. So make sure you take full advantage of that. And I see there's a slight issue here. So while I fix that, let me make sure that I have everything correct here. But again, this is definitely the way to start up your wallet and to make sure that you have everything all together. I'm sorry, I'm still having an issue with this, which is funny. So
Maybe it was purse instead of pursue. I'm just trying to remember what I saw.
yes,
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
That's so funny.
So I win the memory game today.
You definitely do. Yeah, so you're going to have to create a password. And it's going to ask you to enter this in twice. So unlike Hero, you do have to enter this in twice. So it will prompt you to do that. Once you do that, it's going to fully create the wallet successfully. You're going to close this tab, and in the upper right-hand corner, it's going to remind you to pin this to your taskbar. So that's what you're going to do next. So you're going to pin it, and it's already pinned here. So now that you've successfully made your own wallet, you're going to be able to interact with a bunch of other dApps. So for instance, here we have Gamma. Now that you've successfully created your wallet, you can connect to Gamma, AlexGo, and it will open up a new screen for you. So momentarily, you're going to have the option to create that. I'm going to refresh this web page. You're going to connect to a Stacks website, and then it's going to prompt you to log in. So you're just going to log in like normal. Going to verify your password. It's going to verify your connection. You're going to connect to Gamma. And then there you go. You are fully connected to your Xverse wallet. And for some people who aren't familiar with Xverse, this is just a layout of the wallet. You can actually view your NFTs in the wallet. So when you send an NFT to your wallet or you buy an NFT, you will actually see your collectibles in the wallet. And you will also have the opportunity to stack in this wallet and earn Bitcoin. So Xverse allows you to store native Bitcoin. So you have the opportunity to stack sats. And if you're also stacking with Xverse, you can use that through your Ledger device. So you can securely earn Bitcoin and lock it away in your Ledger device. So these are really cool things that you can do with Xverse. And of course, like I said before, if you have a Hero wallet, you can sync those keys with Xverse and you can log in through your Hero keys with the Xverse app, and it will generate all your assets and your NFTs.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Kaylee. Really
problem.
appreciate the demo. And just to remind people, you can vote with the Xverse wallet now
Yes.
For the voting process.
Although
Yeah.
although it's the last day, please feel free to vote either with mobile or desktop. The option is truly yours to use either, and let us know how your voting is going if you do choose to vote with Xverse. So thank you guys for your time today, and sorry for that little hiccup in between.
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you. Okay, so just to give people a quick preview, result is almost like we're tabulating those, we're counting those results now. We've got the result page up, but it's sort of still being updated. But we'll give a full preview, a full review of the result next Friday. So please make sure you tune in next Friday, and really want a big shout out to Mike, Jason, and Jude for doing all the back-end work to make the numbers accurate, tally out properly, and all the front-end work to get the result page up. It's not easy work. So really appreciate everybody's contribution. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, don't forget to wear your badge. I see all the badges on Twitter, so love seeing more. Keep it going. Thank you so much. And this next upcoming event, like I said, next Friday, we'll give people the vote summary next Friday. And this month's steering committee will be a little bit earlier, so people can have a long break. It'll be on the 21st of December on Wednesday, 11 a.m. ET. So make sure you tune in to next Friday and the Wednesday afterwards. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's it for today. Yeah.
Thanks, Hero.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.